What use is a woman who cannot give her husband more children? A useless womb, I guess. Wealth had always surrounded Richard, a successful businessman in his late 30s. Despite his influence, he never left his mother's side. Mrs. Agnes, his mother, was a domineering woman in her late 30s. She had been a widow for over 2 decades and had poured all her emotions and aspirations into her only son. Richard, blinded by her overprotectiveness, never truly detached from her control. He was a man of status, feared and respected in the business world. But when it came to his personal life, his mother detected everything. When Richard married Evelyn, a humble and soft spoken woman, his mother pretended to accept her, but deep inside, she never thought Evelyn was good enough for her son. At first, Evelyn tried everything to win her mother in law's affection, cooking her favorite meals, running errands. But no matter how much she tried, Mrs. Agnes never softened. "You are too simple for a woman married to my son," she would say, picking at Evelyn's modest dressing. Despite the tension, Evelyn and Richard were happy. They were soon blessed with a baby boy, Daniel. For a while, things seemed to be going well. Richard showered his wife with gifts. Mrs. Agnes, though still cold, paid some attention to the baby. But as the years went by and no second child came, the situation worsened. What use is a woman who cannot give her husband more children? She would scoff openly, criticizing Evelyn, even in Richard's presence. At first, Richard defended his wife. "Mother, it's not her fault. We are trying," he would say. But Miss Agnes was persistent. Every day, she filled Richard's ears with venom, reminding him that he needed more children to carry on his legacy. Soon, he started to change. The once loving husband became distant, barely looking at Evelyn. "Are you even making an effort?" he snapped one day after his mother had spent the entire evening lamenting the lack of more grandchildren. Evelyn tried everything: medical treatment, herbal remedies, and prayers, but nothing worked. The stress took a toll on her. She became withdrawn, dreading each day spent in that house. Miss Agnes never missed an opportunity to insult her. "You are a disgrace," she spat one afternoon. "If my son had married someone else, we wouldn't be in this situation." The final straw was when Richard suggested divorce. "I can't do this anymore," he said coldly one evening. "Maybe we should just part ways." Miss Agnes smirked, satisfied with herself. Evelyn, defeated, packed her bags and left with only her dignity. The divorce was swift, and within months she was erased from their lives. Richard wasted no time finding a new wife. His second wife, Yemi, was nothing like Evelyn. She was strong-willed, confident, and outspoken. Miss Agnes initially adored her, convinced that this new woman would give her son Richard the many children that they both wanted. But Yemi had different plans. She made it clear from the beginning. One evening during dinner, Richard said, "Yemi, very soon we are going to start planning towards having kids." He said, "I will decide when I want to be a mother," she replied confidently. Miss Agnes was horrified. What kind of nonsense is that? Listen, young lady, your job is to please my son and give him more children. Well, thank God I don't have to please any of you, madam, Yemi retorted, feeling unbothered. With Richard sitting quietly, eating his meal, and just like that, the war began. Mrs. Agnes tried everything: subtle insults, manipulation, and even outright threats. But Yemi was not Evelyn, who would take every insult and do nothing. Yemi fought back. You must be mad if you think I will let you control my life in this house, Yemi fired back one day. This is my marriage, not yours. You have no place here, Mama. Miss Agnes was stunned. No one had ever spoken to her like that. The battle lines were drawn. Richard, exhausted by the constant fights, began distancing himself from home and from the both of them. He would come home late, avoid conversations, and even take business trips just to escape the madness going on in his house. One day, he said, henceforth, both of you should please handle your issues yourself. He told Yemi and his mother, washing his hands of their matter. With Richard out of the way, the battle intensified. Miss Agnes tried to turn Richard's relative against Yemi, but Yemi was always one step ahead. If Miss Agnes insulted her, Yemi insulted her twice as hard. If she tried to sabotage her, Yemi will retaliate with equal force. The fight became legendary in the house. Yemi had gone on a trip to see her family, and that was the only time there was peace and quietness in the house. And when she returned one afternoon, Agnes stared at her with disgust. Rubbish, Agnes sneered. Good afternoon, Mama, Yemi said. Dragging her suitcase inside, Agnes coughed. So they don't even ask for permission before coming back to my son's house. Chineke, what kind of shameless woman is this? Yemi smiled and turned. Mama, the door is open. You are free to leave if you are uncomfortable, she said, because you seem to be forgetting this is my husband's house and I need no permission. Agnes' eyes bulged. Eh? What did you say? Yemi folded her arms. I said what I said, Mama, and I know you heard me. Just then, Richard drove into the compound. For the first time in his life, he saw fear and confusion in his mother's eyes, but walked into the house pretending not to see both women. One day, Agnes went to Yemi's room, yelled at her for waking up late. Yemi yelled back, Did I come to do housemaid work? If you want someone to wake up early and sweep, go and give birth again, Yemi said. And when Agnes insulted Yemi's cooking, Yemi responded, Then cook your own food, Mama. You have two hands and a mouth that talks too much. Use them. One day, Agnes slapped Yemi during an heated argument, and Yemi returned the slap twice. This girl has no respect, Agnes said. I am respecting you the same way you respect me, Mama, Yemi replied. And then Agnes threw a glass of water at Yemi, and Yemi screamed and replied, Come, this woman, you chop wench. Is it because I have been speaking English with you? You dey craze? Yemi, in a fit of rage, pushed Miss Agnes down the stairs. Agnes let out a piercing scream and stumbled down the stairs, landing with a sickening crack on the floor. Yemi immediately called for an ambulance, ensuring that Richard never found out the truth. At the hospital, the doctor delivered the verdict. Miss Agnes had broken her hip bones and spinal cord. She would never be able to walk again. And out of curiosity, he asked, But what happened to her? And Yemi replied, She mistakenly fell from the stairs out of excitement because I just found out this morning that we were expecting a baby. Oh, okay. Congratulations, the doctor said and walked away, with Agnes laying helplessly on the hospital bed, staring at Yemi, who leaned in and whispered to her, "See, if you tell Richard what happened to you, I will make sure you live to regret it." And then Yemi called Richard to report the incident in her own way. "Hello, Richard. Please come to the Greenfield Pear Hospital. Your mother fell down from the stairs and the doctor said she will never be able to walk." "How come? What happened?" Richard asked. "Well, I was in the kitchen downstairs when it happened. She said she had a blurred vision when she was coming down, and that was how she fell." Miss Agnes, now completely at Yemi's mercy, swallowed her pride and humbled herself for the first time in her life. When Agnes finally got discharged, she became calm and sweet, knowing she is now at mercy of Yemi. "Yemi, my daughter, can you help me with some water?" she asked sweetly. Yemi smirked. "Eh? So you can be this humble after all?" Okay." 4 weeks down the line, and Agnes saw Yemi dragging her luggage out of the house. She asked politely, "My daughter, hope all is well. Are you traveling?" Yemi stopped and smiled. "Well, it's good to know that you have learned your lesson. Just look at how sweet you have become. I wish you were this nice from day one." "Well, to answer your question, no, I'm not traveling. I only live the baby girl lifestyle. I don't have to have kids or look after a grown baby. So, Agnes, I am done. You and your son wants to wear me out. So, goodbye. And don't forget, if you ever open your mouth to tell your son what really happened, forget the fact I'm not here. I will know and I will come for you. Okay?" "Okay, go well. I promise I won't say anything," Agnes replied. That day, Richard came back from work, surprisingly to meet his ex-wife and child having dinner with his mother. He was shocked, and seeing how he was looking at his ex-wife, she said, "Your mother called." "She called me. I didn't just appear from nowhere." "Mama, is that true?" he asked. "Yes, my son. I called her and apologized to her after Yemi left this morning." "Yemi left?" he asked, spinning around to check. "Yes, she left, and I would like us to forget about her and move on. Too bad I had to lose my legs to finally realize that I almost ruined your life and happiness. Please, both of you should forgive me." "Mama, thank you so much," Richard said, staring at his wife. He continued, "My love, please forgive my mother and come back home." "I forgive you," Evelyn said, and they hugged and laughed. From that day on, peace was restored. Miss Agnes could no longer manipulate or be controlling anymore. Her powers was gone, and too bad she had to learn the hard way to be a good person. The lesson to be learned is that karma is real. The way you treat others will eventually come back to you, because what goes around comes around. Men, never allow external influence to ruin your marriage. Choose your wife over anything, especially if she is a good woman, because Richard's failure to stand by Evelyn almost cost him a virtuous woman. Hope you enjoyed the story. Bye for now.